What's up? We're back. New episode reviewing the Oscar noms, and we have a lot of things to say about this, so let's get right into it. First off, starting big, Best Picture, we have The Father nominated, Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, Minari, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and Trial of the Chicago 7. Nick, let's get into this. What are your thoughts on the nominees? Are there people who shouldn't have been in? Are there people, they're not people, movies that should have been in, movies that should have been left out? What do you think?
Um, One Night in Miami got snubbed, in my opinion. I would have taken One Night over Trial, arguably even Mank. Even though I know like between the two of us, I enjoyed it more. I think One Night in Miami was snubbed in this category. I think that film really deserved to be there. As for everything else, I have no complaints. Of the two I haven't seen, just Sound and Father. I've heard consistently good things, so I'm okay with that. And then Promising Young, Nomad, Minari, and Judas. In particular, Minari, Nomad, and Promising Young. I'm really glad those are there. Judas for me was always like a give or take. Like if it wasn't there, I'd been like, okay, I'm not too mad as I'm with One Night, but I'm also not upset that it's there. But yeah, I'm for the most part, I'm pretty okay with this category, with the exception of One Night getting snubbed. I predict Nomadland's gonna take this home, even though I personally prefer Minari over it. But Nomadland's probably gonna take it.
Fair enough. I think for me, I've been saying this all season. I don't think Trial of the Chicago 7's a bad movie. I think sometimes I make it sound like it's a bad movie. It's not. It's just not it's not that super high caliber film. It shouldn't be there, to be perfectly honest. Either, in my opinion, should Mank. Both of those just kick them with the boot, get out. Neither of them, I think, are that interesting. Put into Five Bloods. It deserves to be there. Everything else in that category, promising. Sound of Metal. I don't know. I go back and forth between Sound of Metal and Nomadland of which one I think is the best film of the year. Um, Everything I've heard about Promising Young Woman and The Father is great. Judas is really good. Should it be there? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I'd rather see One Night there. I'd rather see Soul there, to be honest. I think Soul should have been a definite Best Picture nod. But, it's a struggle when you're an animated film to also be nominated for Best Picture. Um, and Small Axe Mangrove, I know it's kind of difficult with the categories, but I think it's its own separate movie that fits
I
into a
think
series of
you're
movies.
you're probably
But
going to be seeing that at the Emmys because
yeah,
honestly, like that and Bad Education were always television films and not like theatrical releases, even though most of these
right.
weren't released theatrically. So you'll probably be seeing those at like the Emmys later this year, if anything.
Yeah. I mean, I just have a decent amount of films that I would have rather seen ahead of it. But,
Mhm.
Soul being left off and One Night Miami and The Five Bloods are really the three films that are a big bummer to me because I don't know. I just feel like they are way better to me than Mank and Trial of the Chicago 7. But you know how it goes. And we're going to go to directing as I scroll through the categories. Now we have from another round, we have Thomas Vinterberg,
Yeah.
we have Mank, David Fincher, we have Minari, Lee Isaac Chung, we have Nomadland, Chloe Zhao, and then Promising Young Woman, Emerald Fennell. Nick, do you think anyone doesn't belong here, or are there people who got snubbed? What are your thoughts?
Again, I think Regina King was snubbed. I like generally believed she deserved a Best Directing nom. I mean, she got it at the Globes. I think she got it at the Critics' Choice. Like, I think she generally did deserve to be here. I haven't seen another one. I've heard good things. So like that was definitely like a really surprising. I like that was a complete dark horse. But yeah, Regina King 100% deserved to be here. I think I would have taken her over. I can't say Vinterberg because I haven't seen it, so I'll just say I think she should have been here with Fincher, which is like really wild to say because Fincher's like one of our favorite directors. But I think she outdirected him this year for sure. But I think this is Zhao's award to take home. Like again, even though I just said I really enjoyed Minari, more than Nomadland. I think this is Zhao's award to take home. So um, it'll be really surprising if it goes, I think, any other way. Hopefully, I don't jinx it. Knock on wood.
Yeah, I'm on the same place as you, man. It's Chloe Zhao's to lose. Yeah, any other David Fincher film, I'd be like, put him in, give him the award. You know what I mean? But this is the one film that I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
And I agree, Regina King would have been perfect. I wouldn't have even mind Spike Lee for The Five Bloods, so I understand him not being
I was
put
gonna
on the
ask you,
list.
like, as a big fan of Bloods, like, how do you feel about not seeing Spike here?
Yeah, I would have had him as Fringe, so I'm not mad at it.
Okay.
But you know, and then Darius Martyr for Sound of Metal. I would have loved to see
Hmm.
him get a nomination, but I understand everything on this list. I'm not mad with David Fincher for Mank. I don't love the film, but from a directing point of view, I get it. I mean, I think Regina King was better, but I'm not going to be, screaming from the mountains like I will be for Best Picture and for one of our next categories. As I scroll through it, we're going to actor in a leading role.
Ah,
And boy, do I have something to say about this.
yep.
Um, we'll start. I just got to get it off my chest. So we're gonna
So,
go Riz Ahmed, Sound of Metal, Chadwick Boseman, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Anthony Hopkins, The Father, Gary Oldman, Mank, and then
mhm.
Stephen Yun, Minari. Now I've not seen Minari or The Father, so I can't say anything about Hopkins or Yun, and I've heard they're both fantastic.
I can speak on behalf of Jan. I think he deserved a nomination at the very least. I think he was really excellent there. So, and I have heard good things about Hopkins as well. So I support both those being there.
But boy, I look at Gary Oldman, great actor, won for Darkest Hour, deserved it. But are you kidding me? Are you seriously going to say that Delroy Lindo and Da Five Bloods is not better than Gary Oldman and Mank? It's not even close, not even by a mile. Delroy Lindo is so much better. Spike Lee, I need you at the Oscars, yelling, like just screaming from the mountaintops for Delroy Lindo. Where was his campaign for this award from Netflix? I mean, where was it? It was non-existent. He was getting snubbed at award after award after award. How can you miss this? Like you literally, I guess I know the movie comes out in what is it, the summer?
Like it was like April, even earlier. It was like
Yeah,
spring actually.
and I know that makes it really tough because it's a long year, right? Normally, you have a chance. It's still low because you're releasing so early. It's the Palm Springs problem. You
Mhm.
release so early, people forget about your movie. But that performance is so amazing. And how is that? Is not such an Oscar type performance, right? The last 3 minutes where he's talking to the camera, he's going crazy as he's going towards his death. Like everything that happens in that film, the layers of that character being a war veteran from Vietnam, dealing with PTSD, struggling with his relationship with his son, you know, all this stuff that's going on, and he plays it so well. I just don't get it. It makes zero sense to me how he's not nominated. It's criminal. He would be my number one on the list right now, which I know is crazy because I love Riz Ahmed and Chadwick Boseman's great as well. But it's just criminal. I mean, I don't know what did they not see the movie? Did they just forget? Like, how do you forget? I don't know. It's crazy. But Nick, what did you think about this award?
I mean, this is the first time that, like, at least for me, ever since I started keeping up with the Oscars, that like a front runner prediction failed so hard. Like even I remember seeing all the way back when, like, we're like, oh, like Chadwick's like really good in Ma Rainey, he could pull it off. And I was like, movie, I haven't even seen a trailer yet, but like that, that's good to hear. And like, like now here he is winning, but like, and like you heard such similar things with Lindo, even arguably stronger ones, and just to have those like just completely like disappear, it's really extraordinary. I've never seen this happen before. And like I haven't been keeping up with the Oscars that much. It's only been in the past like 2, 3 seasons, but like I don't know, man. It's just really like for the better for a solid half a year, for 6 months, he was the front runner. I mean, all of these movies came out either in 2021 or in really late 2020, which I guess, like you said, played against him. But I'm like, you don't lose that momentum when you like are literally at the top. There was no one there to challenge him for the better part of 6 months. Um, it's just yeah, it's really crazy to not see him. I didn't think I thought Oldman was a Golden Globes thing, and then it happened at the SAGs, and I was like, okay, sure, I guess that's strange. And then I didn't think he was gonna get this far, and not at all. Everyone else, I was like, no, yeah, that makes sense. You know, Yoon, Bozeman. I've seen Ahmed and Hopkins. I've heard great things, but I was like, and I don't want to make it sound like I hate Gary Oldman. Like Gary Oldman's like legit. He knows what he's
He's
doing.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm just like, what is Mank is such a weird project in retrospect because it's got the best team behind it, but it's such a they're just like better projects. Even though in
Mhm.
normal years we'd be like Gary Oldman, yes. David Fincher, I hope he wins. But here it's just like, eh. It's such a weird. It ended up being such a weird anomaly, and yeah, I don't know. That's crazy how they just lost steam for whatever reason. I'm really surprised.
I'm furious, man. I'm so
I
furious.
can tell.
Let's move on to actress in a leading role. We have Viola Davis from Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Andra Day from The United States versus Billie Holiday, Vanessa Kirby from Pieces of a Woman, Frances McDormand from Nomadland, and Carey Mulligan from Promising Young Woman. This is the category where I've only seen three of the five performances, but Nick, I know you've seen Promising Young Woman as well. What are your thoughts on this category?
I think this is going to be Carrie versus Francis is going to be this year's Phoenix versus Driver. Like that's going to, in my opinion, that's the race to like look for out of everything else here. Like that is going to be incredibly tight. They're both amazing. It's whoever wins, I'm sure when they announce the winner, I'm gonna be like, oh, it should have been the other one. But like, I also know, like in retrospect, like I won't be upset because those two for sure are amazing. And I've I've heard great things about Kirby. I think Viola was really great in Ma Rainey. As and then Andrew Day clinched the fifth spot, which has been like the highly coveted fifth spot. Like so many people have like filtered in and out of there. Um, she actually, I mean, this will be interesting to see because Andrew Day beat out all of these people at the Globes. Will it repeat? I have no idea. I haven't seen US versus Billie Holiday just yet, but she beat out everyone in her category at that awards ceremony. So that's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, for me, that was really impressive because that was a tough fifth spot. I've heard a lot of great things about Rosamund Pike and I Care a Lot, which is on Netflix. She was also going against Zendaya in, oh my gosh, Malcolm and Marie. This was one of the hardest categories to pick this year. I think this is one of the strongest acting categories I've ever seen.
For sure.
Um,
100%.
and I don't know who I'm going to go with. I can't complain about any of the nominations.
Mhm.
I mean, Frances McDormand seems to be the favorite, but Carey Mulligan also seems to be a favorite. And people are forgetting about how great Viola Davis was, right? I
Yeah.
didn't think her
Yeah.
performance was like next level, but I know a ton of people did. So I don't think you can really underestimate that.
For sure. 100.
Um, Vanessa Kirby was amazing in that movie. In oh my gosh,
Pieces of a.
Pieces of a Woman. I didn't love the movie. I really liked it. I didn't love it.
Mhm.
There's some problems with it, but I can't complain at all about this category, man.
Yeah.
It's just everyone deserves the award. I think, except I haven't seen Andre Day. The fifth spot, I don't know, but everyone else,
That's the
next
great.
level.
That's the sign of a good race when you're like you can make legit arguments for everyone, and like yeah, this is gonna be really this is the again we've been saying this for a while, but this is the category to watch for come the ceremony next month.
Yeah, this is my most excited. Other than Best Picture, it'll always be my most excited category.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, actor in a supporting role. We got Sacha Baron Cohen, Daniel Kaluuya, Leslie Odom Jr., Paul Raci, and Lakeith Stanfield. I'm going to start off here. Lakeith Stanfield has no business being in supporting actor category. He was the lead. Warner Brothers, I see what you did there. You tricky SOBs. You tried to, Three Billboards, when they had Woody Harrelson and Sam Rockwell, it made sense because they were both supporting performances. You could make the argument that both Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield are leads in that film. You cannot tell me that Lakeith Stanfield is supporting, and I thought he was great, right? Don't get me wrong. But he's not supporting. And I mean, Sacha Baron Cohen, that's fine. Leslie Odom Jr., he's my second favorite. And Paul Raci from Sound of Metal, I didn't think he was going to get in. I was really nervous. I was worried not enough people had seen the film. And he got in, and I was like, let's go. He's my favorite in that supporting actor category. So I was really hyped to see him get in. But Nick, what are your thoughts on this category?
I'm so torn on like you, like on the Lakeith nom, because like I feel like this was a moment that like no one really expected from Judas, as great as it was and how great Lakeith was. Like, I don't know. I know for me, like I was like, eventually Lakeith's gonna hit a role and hit a movie that is gonna be like earth shattering. Then we're gonna see him enter. But like here, like he hasn't been nominated anywhere else. Like I don't know about the BAFTAs, but he wasn't at the Globes, he wasn't at the Critics' Choice, he wasn't at SAG. Like he literally just came out of nowhere, which I'm not complaining because Lakeith's awesome. I was like, for this performance and in this category, I was like, this is so weird right now. I was like, of all the things you guys could have thrown, the Academy could have thrown in, I guess, last minute, like not last minute, but just like, I don't know, it just came out. I just couldn't believe when I read like, oh, like Keith Stanfield's been nominated for an Oscar, but it's for a performance that was good. I just didn't think he was going to get in. And in a category he does not, like you said, does not deserve to be in. Um, I don't know. It's such a weird situation for him, but especially since like Kaluuya is I think Kaluuya is a lock for winning. I mean,
Yeah.
there's too much
Uh,
momentum. Him and Bozeman have too much momentum right now that even like I personally want Leslie Odom to take it. Um, for me, I haven't seen Sound, but like I really think he had the better performance. But Kaluuya has too much momentum behind him. So I think he has it, which makes putting Lakeith there so much stranger because you're putting him up against the co-star that's like very close, like to guarantee to win. So I don't know. Oh, for Sacha Baron Cohen, I'm like, I guess sure.
yeah, he's like the fifth slot, honestly.
Mhm.
Um, Gosh, I don't know. I hope Paul Raci wins. I think he was the best. Um, but we don't know. Let's go to actress in a supporting role because this is the weakest of the four acting categories, in my opinion. We have Maria Bakalova for
Or
Borat subsequent movie film. They have like a really long version of the title here. I'm not going to read the whole thing. We have Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy. We have Olivia Colman for The Father, Amanda Seyfried for Mank, and Yo Jung Young. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name for Minari. Um, Nick, Glenn Close doesn't deserve to be here.
Hillbilly Elegy didn't deserve to be. I didn't even see the movie. You saw before. You saw, um, and like even though like I was excited to see it for Amy Adams, but like even yeah, I have to agree. Like she that movie showed up in the Oscars more than once. I was like, it didn't even deserve to be here once.
No, not at all. Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm sorry. It just doesn't deserve to be here. She doesn't deserve to be here. Glenn Close is a great actress, but this is not the right performance to be nominated. I mean, I would have rather had Kristen Milioti or I've
Palm
definitely
Springs.
butchered her last name for Palm
Palm Springs.
Springs.
I would have
Um,
had Tony Collette from I'm Thinking of Ending Things. Like I'm just thinking, I'm like, there definitely was definitely more supporting performance they could have chosen from than Glenn Close. No offense to her again, but like I don't know. It's that one was really unexpected. I didn't expect Elegee to get anywhere in the acting categories, with the exception of SAG. But
and a man,
I really hope she
I don't
doesn't win.
know.
I really hope
And
she, yeah.
oh my god, I would be so sad. It's probably gonna be like Olivia Colman or Yo Jun Young from Minari.
She deserves it. She's my pick for right now, above like Seyfried. And again, I haven't seen Coleman, but like she deserves it for Minari. She's my pick. That was 100% like an incredible performance. Sorry, you're about to bring up Seyfried.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. In a normal year, I'd be like, no, get out. You're not in this category. But in this year, I don't have a problem with it at all.
Mhm.
I think it's fine. Do you agree with me or are you different with that?
I don't know her. Like again, like Mank was such a weird anomaly as a whole, and I feel like I personally just need to rewatch it before this ceremony because, like, at least in regards to both Oldman and Seyfried, I'm like, I remember like way back when we reviewed it, like I remember you saying like you two were good, but I was like, were you two that good? Like I just have to like I'm probably just gonna rewatch it just especially for Seyfried because like she was like touted as the front runner for like a few months there as well. So I don't know. She's the one that I'm gonna probably end up reviewing. Coleman, I heard good things. Um, Yeon Jung, she deserves it, and then Glenn Close, I'm like, all right. As
Yeah,
someone who saw Borat, Bakalova's Nam, how do you feel?
I don't have a problem with it. I thought she was pretty great in that film, and she was the heart of the film too.
Mm.
And I think in a weaker year, she definitely deserves to be nominated. I haven't seen Minari, and I've heard that the performance in Minari is from, oh my gosh, I just scrolled past the actress's name, but I've heard she's extremely like she's next level in that film.
Yeah.
So I think Minari is going to win for that, but I don't know. It just didn't. It's not great, but it's not bad. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't know how to describe it. And it's Borat. It's like a whole different. Borat's like its whole different genre. It's its own genre of film.
This is like when Melissa McCarthy got an acting nom for Bridesmaids, and it was like such an like opposite what her competition was, the films they came from.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let's move on though to best screenplay. We're gonna go with adapted first, and we have Borat, The Father, Nomadland, One Night in Miami, and The White Tiger. Now, I'm not familiar with The White Tiger or The Father,
Mhm.
but I have to say, One Night in Miami definitely deserves it. That's Kemp Powers right there.
Yeah.
Also was a co-director on Soul.
Mhm.
Um, do you think anyone got snubbed from this list?
I think like there probably is, but like nothing's immediately like has come to mind in the day since the nominations. I think just because like screenplay like is something that like acting like kind of like stands out a lot, but like writing is I feel like it's something you have to like kind of like go back and like just listen to the wordplay and all that again. So I can't say for any immediate snubs. I'm thinking of ending things maybe, but like I knew that was never gonna get anywhere near the Academy, just too far out there. But I do agree with you. I think Ken Powers deserves it for one night. They're probably gonna give it to Chloe Zhao for Nomadland, which was by no means a bad screenplay, but I like one night for me. My appreciation for one night has gone up so much since the nominations, and like this is like the sole one of the sole ones they got. So I'm like, all right, this is it. This is the one we have to like try and ride on.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but was The Five Bloods adapted screenplay? I feel like it
Let me
was.
find out. It might. Let's find out.
Because whichever
It was.
screenplay side it's not in is the side I'm going to complain about.
Then you
Because
can come.
Borat,
Yeah, yeah, keep
yeah,
going. I was no. It
Borat,
is. It appears to be original. So
it's original. All right.
yeah.
Because Borat, I don't think that really is deserving.
I don't know why award season started like really getting into the Borat hype. Like it was cool the first time, but like the second time, and like again, I'm not saying it's a bad film. I haven't seen it, but like it's so weird that the Borat managed to get as much love as it did from the award season. Maria Bakalova, what's notwithstanding.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. It's weird.
I would have rather. Is The Invisible Man technically an adapted screenplay?
Ish. I don't know. Like they adapted the concept. That gets into really weird territory in the way that like Logan was nominated a few years ago. Like they didn't adapt a storyline, they adapted a pre-existing character.
Right.
So like maybe they could have, because I know Invisible Man was a book, but like that one, but like it wasn't a straight. adaptation. I don't know. That one's tricky. I get what you were trying to say though with
Yeah,
that for that film. That one's tricky though.
because I would have rather had that, but otherwise, I don't have any problems with this category, to be honest. Do you?
No, I mean, my only anticipated problem is that they'll probably give it to Zhao when again, I think this should be Ken Powers' award.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't think it should be close, unless The Father's a really great film, because I
Yeah.
haven't seen The Father yet, or The White Tiger.
Mhm.
Let's move on to original screenplays. We got Judas and the Black Messiah, Minari, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and Trial of the Chicago Seven. Um, okay, so where's the Five Bloods? Nowhere. This is our annual game of the Five Bloods getting underappreciated, or me just loving the film way more than everyone else. Um, I think Soul is a better screenplay than any of these, to be perfectly honest. I think Soul was the best screenplay of this year. Um, but that's not going to get any nominations. So I don't know what to say, man. It's frustrating. I don't mind Judas being there. I actually found that the problem was probably the pacing, which probably came from the script. And I think the structure wasn't perfect. So I don't know if I would have put Judas in there. I have no problems with Sound of Metal. Promising Young and Minari you'll have to talk about, but Trial of the Chicago Seven, yeah. But break down Sound of Metal and Promising Young Woman first, and then we'll get into
Yeah.
Trial.
Well, I first wanted to say my problem with this one isn't with that Bloods was snubbed. My problem is that Palm Springs was snubbed. I thought out of all things that should have been on for best original screenplay, it should have been Palm Springs. I would have taken it over Judas. I would have taken it over Trial. Um, it like honestly, Palm Springs is like in my top three of like 2020. That film was like brilliant. Like while it didn't have to be nominated for Best Picture, even though like I feel like it could have, of all things, screenplay, it should have been nominated. It like that was just really brilliant. That was just really brilliant on I think what's his name Max Barbacow's part. I think was the writer, or at least is the director. Like the writing team behind that film should have been recognized. As for Minari and Promising Young, I don't mind Minari being there. Again, I think that was a really just heartfelt and passionate and like um, understanding story. And for as for Promising Young, in my opinion, this is Emerald Fennell's award to take home. And I really hope out of all things, like the Academy can screw up every other category in this one, but I really like they have to give this to Fennel, or that's the one I'm gonna like really riot over. Um, yeah, like that screenplay is just ridiculously smart and like just super intuitive. And yeah, I think out of all of these, especially this, I think Fennel deserves it the most.
Yeah, I mean, I I haven't seen the film, so I can't say that, but it just bothers me that animated films get excluded because Soul, like the storyline in the film is so unique, so excellently
Yeah.
written, and everything is paced so perfectly to me. Like I
Yeah.
don't know.
And like it's not like animated films haven't like I know Inside Out and I think even Toy Story 3 got like screenplay nods in the past. So it's not out of the ordinary. I just I don't know. The Judas team and Sorkin is such are strange additions if you want to jump into Trial now.
Yeah, I just Trial's just not. It's a decent movie. It was a good movie until I saw Small Axe Mangrove, and I
Mhm.
realized that this courtroom drama is just not what it should be. You know what? It's not as interesting. It's not as engaging. It's moments. It's like quick hitting Sorkin dialogue, but it doesn't have that lasting impact that it
Mhm.
should. And I think that's what really stood out to me. And that's my knock on it. I don't have that knock of the lasting impact on Judas and the Black Messiah that I have on Trial, and that's why I can't really think
Yeah.
of it as a nominee for this category.
Yeah, and trials a part of the what I'll call the Mank issue, where like in a normal year, I'd be like, yeah, like because like Aaron Sorkin's legit too. Aaron Sorkin more than knows what he's doing as a writer. It's just that of this year, and like it wasn't even necessarily like a bad product. It wasn't a bomb by any means. But it's just when you look at what they're competing against, when you look at what wasn't there, kind of like, does he really, for all the love, for all his skill and for how like relatively strong trial is, it's kind of like, are we sure he should be in that spot essentially?
Yeah. Let's move on to music, and we're going to wrap up with music and visual effects real quick. So, The Five Bloods, Terrence Blanchard, Mank, Trent Reznor, and Atticus Ross, Minari, Emily Mosseri, News of the World, James Newton Howard, and Soul, Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, and John Batiste. So, who is that? Terrence Ross and Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross on there twice.
Yeah.
But Nick, do any of those stand out to you? I think they're all worthy, but is there one that you're like, this is the best in this category?
I think this is Souls. Of all the movies there's like, I mean, the movie's about music and like they transcend it, and that team particular just created such a great atmosphere, similar to the sound team for Sound of Metal. Even again, like I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it. Like they just did both, from what I like understand, just did such a great job at like just constructing an environment in the way that like a score should. Minari's score was good, but I think Souls was better. I can't even tell you what like Manx really was like. I guess I have to rewatch Bloods to remember theirs. I honestly, of all the categories, I wasn't expecting Bloods to be in score, but we'll take what we got from score since they got kicked out of everything else.
It's to me, it's my second or third favorite score. I think probably my second. The Bloods is to Soul. I agree. Soul should be the winner in this category.
Mhm.
Um, but let's move on to visual effects because this is a weird category just because of the year. We didn't get like any of the superhero films
Right.
really, or the big blockbusters that we normally do. So we have Love and Monsters, we have The Midnight Sky, Mulan, The One and Only Ivan, and Tenet. Nick, this is a weird category. Normally, like
Oh yeah.
some of these films wouldn't be here, but let's just go for who you think is deserving of a win in this category.
I haven't seen three of these, but like it's Tenet. It should be Tenet. I think like 'cause Love and Monsters and Ivan are just like animated creatures, which isn't anything too like outrageous that we haven't seen before. Mulan, I can't even tell you like what they green screened in Mulan. I guess their giant avalanche scene, but like or like the whole shape shifting character, the witch. And you saw Midnight Sky, so I'm not sure what they did all there, but I think Tenet out of all of them deserves it. I just want to talk about this category because no Invisible Man. Out of all
Yeah.
categories the Invisible Man could have showed up in, it really should have been VFX. I think like I've seen the behind the scenes of the kitchen fight where they have like Elizabeth Moss like fighting a green like the guy in the suit, and they just like I don't know, like I think the VFX in the Invisible Man were awesome. I'm just really surprised that like it didn't show up here out of all things. And so all hopes are on Tenet then for getting the win.
Yeah, you're not going to hear a lot of love from me on Tenet, but
Mhm.
give credit where it's due. The visual effects of that movie are insane. Like just the idea of coming up with that and executing it, whether you like it, the film or not, in the concept, having such a high concept and being able to execute it is so mind bending. That's
Yeah.
what makes that film so fascinating.
Mhm.
Um, it's that wants to go. Midnight Sky, I don't have a problem with. I
Okay.
don't like in a normal year, I'd be like, but in this year, it makes sense. I think they're very good. There's some problems I actually think, the most part, from space, the space shots all look great.
Yeah.
The shot they have one shot of Earth, and Earth's in this really like crazy, ugly state, and you're like, oh my
Mhm.
god. But there are a few shots in there where I was like, ooh, that was a little questionable. But
Yeah.
for the most part, it's good. Mulan, CG in there is good, but it's not great. But
Yeah.
like you said, you brought up the best point. Invisible Man had amazing VFX. Tenet's not in there. Tenet's like a whole nother level. Tenet wins almost any year
Hmm.
just because it's something new.
Yeah.
Um, but what Invisible Man did was amazing, and especially on the budget they had, like
Mhm.
those two things combined is what makes that award nomination so necessary. But with that, I think that wraps up this review. That has been it for our Oscar nominations. Let us know what you think down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video, and we'll see you next time.
Peace out.